In this video I will be sculpting an Ork Shaman using Blender. I'm just focusing on the main shapes at the moment, not doing any detail, just keeping all of them at a really low resolution. Starting to do the cape now. Getting the chest and the biceps into more of a shape, but not increasing the resolution at all. Just working on the hand. This is something I always struggle with, getting the hands right. So I've used quite a few reference images here. Took lots of pictures of my own hand gripping something, which really helped. So you can see here I'm doing the bottom jaw of the mask, and I start out with a really simple 2D shape and then just extrude and bend it, which then I can sculpt on top of later. So just working on the eyes and getting the shape of the mask a bit better. Putting in some details of like the wood grain. Presumably that's what it's made out of. So I'm sculpting the orc's face now, because I had an idea that it might be a bit more interesting without the mask. But yeah, I didn't end up using this in the end, but it was quite enjoyed sculpting it. Yeah, you'll notice I have a viewport in the bottom right that's set to rendered and in a fixed position, so it just gives me an overall silhouette that I can see, and it helps me understand if the shape is working from a distance, you know, because it is intended to be a miniature, so if it doesn't look good in a smaller scale, then it's not really going to work. just creating a skull, one of the details that is just going to be under the mask. I'm just trying out the face that I did, and not really convinced that it's going to work, so switching that out. And then I found some other reference images with a much more interesting pose, and I just thought it looks a bit more heroic and interesting, so, and dynamic, so just starting to get that pose together. Then the staff I thought looked quite boring, just straight, so trying a curved sort of wood piece, and I put the details in for that later, but just working on the cape. Just replacing the feathers with a curve, so I can get a smoother shape. Had an idea to have a book in his hand, and just tried that out briefly, but wasn't convinced it was going to look how I wanted it to. Adding a few more details to the face and the cape. So opening this hand up, and so he's got a more varied pose, and making those ropes there was the first time I tried out using radial symmetry, so you can have several points, and when you sculpt, it sculpts from several different angles all at once, you know, so it was quite interesting to try. Added a bit more detail to the eyes, and not happy with the overall shape of the mask, so later on I start to tweak that to make it look a bit more interesting. Adding in some wood details to the staff. So you can see with the cape there, it's still quite low resolution, just while I get the shape correct, and then I'll bump that up. So I'm just adjusting the mask here to just make it a bit more interesting. Shape of the eyes as well. Just increasing the resolution now and smoothing out, adding in some final details, giving the mask a lot more shape now, and made it look more interesting and detailed. And this is the final sculpt. I hope you found it interesting, seeing a bit of the process that I was using, and if you have any questions or comments about it, just don't hesitate to ask, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing this, and subscribe for any future miniatures.